Welcome back. For many folks, buying a home can be the most important purchase of their lifetime. Christina Seco sat down with financial consultant Joe Meyer to find out if now is a good time to make that purchase.
Thanks, Joanne. Some 6 million Americans are expected to buy a house this year, and whether it's first-time buyers scouting a place in the southern eastern part of Bergen County or someone looking to relocate to the outskirts of Hudson County, choosing the right neighborhood to move into and getting the most bang for your buck is more important than ever. But with a slumping housing market and prices continuing to slip, how do you know when is a good time to seal the deal? Joining me now is Joe Meyer, financial consultant and president of Meyer and Associates. Thank you so much for joining us. Glad to have you here.
Thank you and New York One for having me. It's a pleasure.
Great. And when people hear Bergen and Hudson counties, many people say that's out of my price range. Is it a good time for first-time buyers to get in the market?
Well, I think first of all, people have to realize that Bergen County is some of the most expensive real estate in the country. And I think we are in the early stages of a recession, and I think there'll be a tremendous long-term buying opportunity about 6 to 9 months down the road. So I would certainly advise at this point to prepare your credit, get your down payment ready, and wait for the market to give you an attractive buying opportunity.
All right. When you talk about preparing your credit, how exactly do people go about preparing to buy that first home or to relocate and get a second home?
Well, I think the key is to pre-qualify for a mortgage on a home that you're certainly interested in purchasing. And I think if you do have credit-related problems, prior to going in and applying for the mortgage, this would certainly be the time in which to go in and clean up any problems that may be credit-related.
Okay, so Joe, you mentioned preparing your finances. Now, many say borrowing isn't a good idea during a recession. What would you suggest to people going out looking for that first mortgage or maybe even their second mortgage? Would you tell them to get a 15-year or a 30-year mortgage? And what exactly is the difference?
The key to purchasing a home and remaining in it over a number of years, I think, is determined by the quality of the mortgage which you're able to secure and the length of that mortgage. As you know, most people were getting into trouble by taking these adjustable rate mortgages. And when we saw the economy go into recession and the mortgages adjusted, most people were witnessing their mortgage payment go up by 50% and in some instances over 100%. So the key to staying in a home between 5 and 7 years, or maybe even possibly longer, is to put in place long-term financing. 15-year and 30-year fixed mortgage certainly makes a lot of sense over the long term.
And they talk about also many people will send 2 payments to a mortgage each month. Do you think that's a good idea? Will that help lower the principal in the long run?
Well, any time you can double up on your mortgage payments, you're certainly reducing the principal and reducing it very significantly. And it will allow you to pay off the mortgage certainly well in advance of what you would have paid it off if you had just been making one. So it's definitely a good idea, and people should certainly consider it.
Okay, and in your advice, Bergen County, you did mention that it is one of the most desirable places to live.
Yes, it is.
Where would you target people to look if they are buying for the first time?
Well, I think people have to consider affordability, and I think a lot of people were getting into trouble by simply buying too much house and going beyond what they could afford. I think the key is affordability. I think the key is looking in the right neighborhood, and the key is buying value and buying value when it's on the marketplace for sale.
All right. Joe, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate having you here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
And to find out more about the New Jersey real estate market or to make sure you're making a winning investment, log on to meyerassociates.com.